and I'm back. Oh, it's Slayer Bruner 420, the legend. What's up? Alright. So, let's go over this game. I'm so sad. Yeah, like, I got 4 fourths in a row, and like across the 4 games, I've only won 2 hands. And they were both worth 1,500 points. Alright, so first off, East 2-0, 6 turn, and dealer. And like always, whenever I do the review, it doesn't have a delay, so if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to post them on the chat. So right here I get to 1 Shanten. I was wondering if there's anything better than throwing the 6 right here. But of course the other option is the Dora, and if I draw anything around that, I'd probably just switch that over. Or I could be a little bit greedy and throw out the 1, because I have this shape, Nakabukure shape right here and potential Tanyao, but yeah, should I do that? I don't know. Because like if I do throw the 6, I'm losing the 4, 5, 7, 8, which could upgrade the shape. But the other option is throwing the Dora, which technically only loses like a few. Like I guess 3 and 5 are the ones I care about. 6 is also not bad, since I can switch over. If only 4 was not the Dora. Or maybe throwing the Dora is the better thing to do here. Cause like, yeah. If I do throw the Dora out, I lose the 3 and the 5, which I'm really sad about. The 6, not that much, but it's not that bad either. But that's still like what, 1, 2, 3. It's like 12 tiles versus the 14 and the Sozu shape, so I guess it's not that bad. Plus, all shapes include Dora right there. Though the good thing about this shape is that anything I get is instantly double-sided, and so that's pretty nice. Yeah, I guess the 6. I don't know. Kind of want to throw the Dora here, but yeah. I am weak to 1 Shanten. I'll send this to my other to see what my counterpart says. Alright, next up, Dealer. So Dealer had some pretty interesting drops right here. They dropped the 5 after a 7. Then they dropped a 7 and 8 Sozu shape right there. And so this usually means that they're at the very, very least 1 Shanten. Or if they got lucky, they could have immediately drawn into Tenpai, which happened to be the case here. So if we look at that in their hand, yeah, they had their pair, and like the only tile, or actually go back one more step. So they got the 3, and then they're instantly 1 Shanten, so they throw this. Normally at this point, if you got another safe tile, let's say like, I don't know, a random honor tile, then you would finish up throwing out your shape, and then whenever you get into Tenpai, you throw that last tile that you don't need. Unluckily in this case, they immediately drew into Tenpai, and so this person, potentially even seeing that's like, oh, it's kind of dangerous, I, better hurry up and throw this while I can, just got destroyed by it. So next up we got East 2-1, 6th turn, 9th turn, and I also, what does that say? Didn't see Toyman push. Sixth turn, Dora is the 8. Yeah, I guess throwing the 5 right here is okay. Because even if I get, like, if I throw the 5 right here, I'm losing, well, actually, yeah, I guess that's okay. If I throw, like, the 8 out, it's not super great, because if I happen to draw a, I don't know, 3-5 mon first, I'm stuck with a bad shape, and I'll have to break it up anyway. If I lock in the 5 mon, the only thing I'm really losing is instant tempai with the 5, 1-4 draw. But 1, it's already dead, because I have the last one right here, so there's only the 4s. Even if I get the 4, it's not that bad, because then I can switch over and, to like a Dora Tunki or something. And if I draw, let's say, like the red 5, I can just switch that out for the regular 5. And even if I do happen to get one of those tempais, I'm going to be stuck with the 7-8 Pinzu weight anyway for like Richinomi unless I get the red 5, so that's not ideal. So yeah, dropping the 5 here is pretty solid, I think. And alright, next up, 9th turn. Yeah, so I drew the extending tile on the 9 right there, and then I'm like, well, I got this 2-mon, but it's getting close to the middle. Someone's potentially getting around Tenpai at this point. Should I slim down this hand, or should I keep this around just in case I get the red 5? But I guess the big thing here was that even if I do like draw 5, am I willing to drop the 8-mon, 9-mon, especially since the 8-mon's Zadora at this point in the game, or at least at this point in the hand, and I don't think I was, and so I think dropping the safer 8-mon or 8 Pinzu right here is a bit better. I'm sorry, 6 Pinzu, because I really don't want to throw the shape at this point in the game. Mainly because if I do get a 5 even, like, if I do take Tenpai with that, with, like, all my good weights, it's only going to be, like, Ricci. The only one that I'm really happy about is the red 5, but that's kind of unlikely. But even then, that's still kind of a hard push for still technically 1 Shanten, even after I throw the shape. Yeah, so I kind of like the 6-pin here. Okay. And then 2 Richis happen on the field. So I want to watch this guy. So this is the first thing I need to watch. 7 came out right here. Even though it looks like an early Matagi, it's right next to the Dora, so this is like a push, like 100%. Unless they had absolutely nothing else, and even then they would not probably throw the 7. Yeah, unless they have like 100% confidence that it is not that weight. But even from an early 6-mon with the 8-mon Dora, you could still have a 8-9-mon waiting on the 7, and that's not unheard of. So even if they do have a wall of 6s in their hands, that's still really dangerous. So we can assume that at that point they're probably pushing. And then from this point, because they Tsumogiri'd, even if they Tsumogiri'd a perfectly safe tile right here, whatever happened the turn before is still true. Furthermore, if we look at the board, this isn't 100% safe either. It's great for the dealer, and you could even argue that it's pretty reasonable for this person since they dropped an early 7. But because it didn't come out from their hand, we can't like view that as a fold. Same thing with the 4 right here, safe for the dealer, but completely dangerous over here, so that's looks like a push. Yeah, I missed that game. I was like, oh, they were pushing. What? So many things to concentrate on. Alright, next up, East 3-0. 6 turn no call, and then risk the Forso. So let's see, 6 turn. What tile was it that I didn't want to call? Was this round? I don't see anything that I might accidentally call. I think I got the round wrong. It's probably 3-1. Yeah, it was this one. So the 5 came out right here, and I can take instant Tenpai on potentially the 6-pin. 1 6-pin came out over there. Should I take that or not? I kind of don't wanna. Yeah. If it was the red 5, I probably would, because that's instant 3,900 point Tenpai. At this point, if I call and technically drop the 7, I'm Tenpai for a 2,000 point hand. But the only improvement that I have, because I'm going for Tenhou at this point, would be the 4-pin. So should I take that or not? It's only waiting on 3 tiles. The 6-pin's out, 1 out right there. I don't know where the other ones are. Ugh. Yeah, I kind of don't like that. Anything when you open and you're like, final weight is pretty bad, especially for a really cheap hand, is kind of bad. Because like the 6-pin is something that people like normally use in their hand, except for Toymen, potentially. Just like regularly. And so if someone does, you know, just continue pushing their hand, which they probably will, unless, you know, they're just hyper paranoid, but I can't see any of the Dora, so someone surely has the Dora right now. I don't know how much of, I don't know how many of them. Maybe. So bad with questions like this. Naku ka na? Nakanai ka na? Wakanne. Guess I'll post this one in the competitive Ricci hub. See if I can get any second opinions on that. Alright, next up, Risk the Forso. So I ignored that. Danger, danger, danger. So, actually, let's go backwards a step. So why is it danger? So dealer discards a 9-pin from their hand. I'm sorry, a 6-pin from their hand. Then an 8-pin from their hand. And so that's a pretty solid Tatsu over. So at that point, we can pretty safely assume that they're probably around, like, 1, at most 2 Shanten. Usually in the middle round, or in the middle game when they drop a Tatsu like that, it's usually around 1 Shanten. Then they pawn, drop a 3, and so at this point we can say, good chance that they're in Tenpai. So whatever they have, we gotta be kind of careful of that, especially since now they dropped a 3 from their hand after dropping all this. It's probably not Honitsu. Even though it kind of looks dangerous of like, oh, we don't see any Sozu tiles and they drop this. But unless they made like a really drastic like late game change, it's highly unlikely. Even like the 3-mon right here, why would they have a floating 3-mon over the other stuff that they had? They would probably keep like the 9 over that. So we can probably guess that this is not Honitsu. But if it's not Honitsu, what is it? Well, one thing that stands out right now is that we can't see any of the Dora. So this very easily could potentially be Dora 3 hand, since they're just like randomly opening right here, or it could just be a fast whatever hand. maybe with like a red Dora, but either way, got to be a little bit wary of that, especially if we're not Tenpai yet. So, the question I was wondering here is, if I do get into Tenpai, am I willing to risk the 4? And I think the answer is yes. Because if this was... I mean, like, Sozu is dangerous all around the board, but if I get to Tenpai on a double-sided weight with Tenhou Dora, I think that's definitely worth it. Furthermore, even if this is, like, a big hand, it's not, like, a super, super big hand, probably. Like, if I had to guess, it's probably at most a Mongon if they have, like, the Dora Unko. I don't think it is a Honitsu because of the reasons I just mentioned before. So I'm probably still willing to push the 4 here if I do get Tenpai. Now, what did they actually have? So they had Tenhou Dora Dora, 3,900. Ah, there's the Dora. Oh, winning on the 2-5. Oh, that's scary. That's really scary. This is also another bad habit I have, which is just made more apparent. Whenever I see something like this, it's like oh, danger! I gotta watch out for this. Watching out for this. Like whoa, a 3. Gotta watch out. Looking at this. Looking at this. Looking at this. And then you deal into a giant death hand from over here. Because even if you do notice a you know, pretty dangerous threat like this, you still gotta keep an eye out for literally everyone else. Like, dealer right here dropped the 4 from their hand, and then they dropped the 5. Now it's like, okay, that's pretty suspicious. That could potentially also be really close to Tenpai. And then they dropped another 4 from their hand, and at this point you're like, okay, that's probably one Shanten at the very, very least, or potentially even Tenpai. Yeah, that's scary. If you deal into a mid-game Hatsu, Dora Unko, and you're like, ah, oh, darn it, so lucky they are. Not always. A lot of the times, it's like, it could have been avoided. Like, the fact that no one's in reach at this point is, like, even more suspicious than if someone was in reach. Because at least if they're in reach, they're like, oh, okay, you know, they might have a pair or something, but if no one's in reach and the Dora is a Yakuhai, there's... I'm curious about the statistics on that, but I would think that there's not a small chance that someone might be in Damaten for it. Or open hand with it. Alright, next up, South 1-0, 6-turn pawn. Should I pawn this? I'm dealer. My hand is currently 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 Shanten at the 6th turn with bad shapes all around. And the 4 came out, which is one of my biggest necks right there. Whereas for this one right here, I could still expand this pretty easily. Like if I draw like a 6 Sozu, I can get double-sided weight right there, and then this shape is good over here. So I think pawning right there is actually pretty good. Then instant Tenpai right there. Yeah, that's not bad. If the shapes were a little bit better, I kind of want to avoid calling with this hand because it can be very nice, but with 4 pairs, it's kind of hard. Alright, next up, South 1-1, 4th turn, 6th turn, and Toyman. Yeah, the sand. Yeah. What do I do with this hand? So technically, if I drop the 4-pin or the 4-so, I'm 1 shanten. A very iffy 1 shanten, but 1 shanten nonetheless. Should I drop the 4, or should I drop this 4 sozu, or should I drop the 4-pinzu here, or neither? If I do drop something, I think it should probably be the 4 sozu. In the game, I just threw the 4-pinzu because I was like locking in on this 2-2-2-4 shape. Because I'm like, oh, I can get my, you know, pair right here, and then I'll get a Itsu right here, and everything will be great. But yeah, I have too many pairs with this shape, even if I can be flexible with the 6. The 1 is still probably going to be a pair unless I get really lucky and get the 2-mon draw. Yeah. Yeah, so probably, no, not that. It's probably 4-so right here, because whenever you have a shape like this, if you do have a lot of like floating pairs around, the shapes that are like, I don't know, 3-3-3-5, or like 4-4-4-5, anything that has like a single tile connected to a triplet is diminished a lot in value, because this shape right here is really good if you're if you don't have like a pair, because if this does end up as your final shape and you're still missing a pair, then you'll be waiting on like 7 tiles, or like if this is a 3, you'd be waiting on 11 tiles. So it's pretty good. But because we have some more pair candidates now, it loses its value over this one, I think. So probably keeping the 4-pin's better than the 4-so here. Maybe. Oh, one more question there. Also, why are these rounds so short? Okay, Toyman Tenpai. So let's see if there's anything weird here. So, throw the 9, throw the 3, that's normal progression. Throw the 6, technically normal progression. That does look a little bit fast though. Throw the tune, it's normal. 1 from their hands, now we're going back, and so at this point we're like, okay, they're probably within like the 2 shanten range. And they probably have some connected tiles to the 1 right here. And then, yeah, that's a pretty fast Tenpai. Also, my friend got back on his answer for the, what was it? What round was that question? East 2-0, 6 turn. I asked what would he throw here, and he's wanting to throw the 1-pin, go for Kuitan. So if you do keep the 1 and you throw out the 6 or the 4, you instantly keep 1 shanten for instant Tenpai with Richijora. But your neck is like the 4-pin, and so that's kind of iffy. And even if you do get Tenpai on that, you're waiting on the 1-pin and the 8-mon, but both of those are still out, so it's not that bad. But if you do keep all this alive, you could potentially pretty easily go for Kuitan. For instance, if you can, even if you don't like this 3-5 shape, you can call the 4-5-6 here, 6, 7 there, so that's 2 blocks. If you get the pawn of that, that would be 3, and then you can even get like 2 right here. So potentially even like a Mongon, and you can also open it up, so that's not that bad. And then, of course, within all that, you also have the potential of just drawing the 4 for the 3, 5, so that actually sounds kind of good. My only concern is that it's the 6th round, and so dropping back down at the 6th might be a little bit late, but maybe not. I wonder, what round would they probably take the 1 Shanten? Or what, Junmei? As in, like, turn order. Or, I guess, discard? How do you translate Junmei? I guess it would be turn. Like, what turn would you do it? So, like, right now we're on, like, the 6th turn. Or 6th discard. So they kind of like it until around 9th, 10th turn, which is like right in the middle right here. It's an interesting choice.
Go.
Alright, next up. South 2-2, first turn, 6th turn, 7th turn, reach. First turn. I think I was being a little bit paranoid here. So normally I will throw 1 pins and 1 mons, or any ones and lone 1s and 9s over the honor tiles. But because I already had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like a pair, I'm like, ooh, I really want that final shape. Since I got Dora and I'm also in last currently in South 2. So kind of wanted to throw the tune. Plus I had really good shapes, which means that given enough draws, I'll probably get into Tenpai naturally. And so if I could stop someone from getting a quick hand by throwing this early, it would be kind of nice. And that logic doesn't seem that bad, actually. But I guess the question is it worth the potential loss from throwing that? And I guess it's okay. Because right here, I already have some value, and I technically have some pretty good shapes even for my pair. And plus, this won't really improve my shape any. Like, I'm mostly going to form my pair, and then I don't have another pair in my hand, so I'd probably just lock that in. So yeah, I think actually throwing tune here is pretty good. Alright, next up. 6th turn. What is this hand? Okay, so now I am finally 1 Shanten, and I'm wondering, should I be greedy here? Or not? So the greed shot, or the greed one right here is throwing out the 7 Sozu. Basically saying, hey, I'm going to go for Itsu, potentially, or if I draw the, 5-8 mon first, then I'll be going for just like a double-sided weight, either on the 1-4 Sozu or the 6-9 Sozu. This is actually a kind of interesting question. Or we can throw the 1 Sozu, lock in like a very nice complete 1 Shanten, with Richi, double-sided weight Dora, regardless of what we get. Plus we have the red 5 option, so actually that's probably a lot better. This is a cool hand. Yeah, if both the Ryanmen weren't able to take in the red 5, I kind of want to lean towards the Itsu here, but I don't know. I wonder, even without red 5s, should we still throw the 7? I generally would think so. I'm going to put this into Hitori Mahjong Simulator and see. So, documents, my Mahjong, Hitori Mahjong Simulator, go! Okay, and we're on, what is this? 6th turn, and none of our tiles have been discarded, aside from the 1 so right there, which we can account for. Okay. Throw in this hand real quick. See, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 7. And we drew a 9. Oh wait, we have to actually get the discards there first. I'll just throw some random honor tiles real quick. Let's see, we're on the 5th turn, or 6th turn. And we got the 9, perfect. Alright, so let's try this out. And switch that over. Alright, so according to this, it also likes the 7, but this is in no red Mahjong, or no red Dora Mahjong. And so the biggest thing we want to look here is how much is the winning percentage affected here. Pretty significantly, actually, from 37% up to 43% sumo. The value, though, takes a pretty big hit since we get rid of the option for Itsu completely. Yeah. And then with the red 5s, I wonder how much would that actually improve the value? So many questions. Yeah, I don't know. I need a thing like Hitori Mahjong Simulator that also has Red Dora in it. That'd be kind of nice. But because I am in last place here, even if I do get like a little bit over third place, I'm not that safe. So maybe going for the greed right here for the 7-so is pretty okay. And even though it does take a hit in what is that? Even though it does take a hit in winning percentage by a little, it's not super huge. Plus we get the chance for Itsu, which would be really nice, because if we reach you with that, that's going to be at least 8,000 points. If we like Tsumo with like an Uradora, Red Dora, or Ipatsu, it can go up to 12,000 points, which would save us from a lot of stuff. It's always weird to try to figure out like how Red Dora affects this. Plus we get Pinfu as well. In a lot of the cases. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess because we kind of need a big win here, like, if we do drop the 1-so, what's, like, the worst thing that can happen? We get into Tenpai, let's say we don't even get Pinfu, so we drew, I don't know, like, the 7, like the 7 Mon or something. We have to Riichi on the 5-8, and then, let's say we run first place with, on the 8-so, for Riichi, 1 Dora, 2,600 points, plus the 600 in the middle, so 3,000, 200 points, which puts us a grand total of 900 points above third place. That doesn't do much. In comparison, we can take a little bit less win percentage here for potential Itsu, which could even go up to guaranteed Mongon or even Hanemon. Technically Baimon with the 9-pin flip. So yeah, probably 7-so here, considering the point situation. Seven. Yeah, I guess 7's okay here. If the point situation was different, then we could argue going for the 1-so, but yeah, we need points. Alright, next up, 7th turn reach.
Eat.
So we instantly got Tenpai, Toyman, Richi's. We're in last place. Do we stay Dama with this, or do we Richi? Even if we stay Dama with this, the 5 isn't that much more likely to come out. Unless, like, you know, dealer grabs it and decides to push it, but kind of unlikely. Especially because third and fourth are pretty close down here. And if they take a hit right now going into South 3, that'll be pretty bad for them. And if they do fight, they'll probably have something worth it anyway, so I think Richi right here is probably the better option. If we win with Dama even, it's only going to be 5,200 points, or maybe like around Mongon if we Tsumo. Whereas if we reach, we're guaranteed 8,000 points, and with Tsumo we can even go up, or with Red 5 even, we can go up to 12,000 points. Plus we have one person that's against us that's going to be dropping anything anyway, so probably not that bad. Okay. And last up, South 3-0, 8th turn and 9th turn.
Eat.
Yeah, this one. I don't know. Yeah. What should I drop here? So we're in South 3, I'm like 6,000 something points. What is it, 6,300 points? Behind third place. Ideally, I want to get a Mongon Sumo right now, or at least something around there with that potential, so that I can catch up without having to do it in Horas. Because if I'm above them in Horas, they're the dealer, so it's 3 versus 1. I just have to not deal in, basically, or if anyone else Sumos. And even if they do win a hand, the game continues, and I technically have another chance. So, what do I do here? At a glance, 8-mon. But the 9-mon is the Dora, and so do I actually care about that right now or not? Looking at my shapes, I got, like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Shanten, or I'm sorry, 2 Shanten, with, like, 3 confirmed blocks, and then I got the 3 and the 7 floating around the 5 right here, which is really good for getting my pair if I need it. But I also have this shape right here, which can technically take in a pair if I do end up with it. Yeah, I don't know. The 7's pretty good because if I get a 6, it's instantly a 3-side weight. 8 is double-side weight. The 4 is also really good because I can once again get a pair right here, or I can even get a 3, or I can get a 5 for a nice double-side weight. With the 3, I even get potentially Peiko. And with the 5, I could technically maybe get Sanshoku with the 3, 4, 5, 3, grab 4, 5, and then 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I guess the 8 right here is pretty good. The prospects for Tenhou are pretty high here. The only one that I really get messed up on is, well, actually, not that high, because I have the 7s around. Questions. So I definitely want to keep the 3 and the 7 around, I think. Dropping the 4 would be technically okay in that I don't need it as a candidate to get my pair, since I already have that. But it is a lot more than that because it's like a really strong floating tile. Plus for 8, it's the Dora indicator. I can see a couple 1-7 out right now. And if I do draw a 9, I'm not like that happy because if I end up on a 7-mon weight, that's going to be pretty hard to win on. And I think shape matters the most in this point situation right here, especially since I already have 1 Dora. So considering the Tenhou potential and all that, I should probably drop the 8 Monzu. Or I could drop one of the 7 or 3s of the Pinzu. Because even if I, drop one now and, like, because of that, I don't get that shape completed or something until later on. Like, let's say it's my last shape remaining, that's completely fine, because it's going to be at least a 7-sided weight right there. And I could still somehow get my other shapes before that. In that case, I'd probably drop, I guess, 3. 7 is good in that I can still get an 8 Pinzu and then like upgrade right there. 3 is a little bit not as good because I already dropped a 2 Pinzu, but I guess that's not that big of an issue because the only thing I really lose out on is the 1 pin. Plus it does give me the chance for Sanshoku, even if it is a little far off. But yeah, I guess it's still probably 8 mon. Because I really don't want to end up with a weight around that. What did I do in game? 8 mon? Yeah. Okay, and then immediately the turn after, I think I drew a 9 pin, which is like, oh, great. Yeah. Do I even keep that? That's like really bad. I don't even think I should keep it. But it's already the 9th turn, and it's like, I can't go just ignore my 1 Shanten right now. Plus, one interesting thing to note is this shape right here, where you have a Anko, and then you have a Kanchan waiting on the Suji of it. For some reason, this is like statistically really high win rates. I don't know why. But, yeah. Though in this case right now, Pinzu looks really bad. Like, if we look on the board, like, we can't see any upper Pinzu. This guy right here especially looks like they're hoarding it. Sozu, on the other hand, looks pretty nice. Manzu, on the other hand, looks pretty nice. So, considering the board state, it actually might be better to drop the 9 pin here. That's kind of an insane thing. And for insane questions, I know the perfect person to ask. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of dropping the 9 pin, but it's already the 9th turn and I'm down. But I need a Mongon, and the Tanya would help that a lot. Plus, the good final shape would be really, really amazing. If I take in the 8 pin, chances are I'm probably going to be waiting on that. And an 8 pin weight isn't super bad, especially since I have the Anko of the 5s, but it's like, do I want to do that? I'm so bad with keeping 1 Shanten or dropping 1 Shanten questions like this. Kind of want to drop it. Maybe I should drop it. If the board state was anything but it is right now, like where no Pinzu are out, keeping it might be okay, but in this case right now, it doesn't look as good. So, let's actually just check this out real quick. Is this as bad as I would think it is or not? Specifically for the 8 pin. So it's not actually that bad. The 8 pin still has like 3 in the wall at this point. But instantly taking that or not, ugh. And of course, if I do take this, then I should drop the 7 because this shape can be used to grab a pair, and this shape can also be used to grab a pair. Plus, if I draw something around this first, then I can just throw these 2 out. Starting with the 9. So I don't know. It's already the 9th turn, so I should probably take it. Yeah. But I don't know. Looking at like the boards, like people don't look like they're that fast either. Like this person has only dropped, you know, very sad stuff. This person has only dropped pretty sad stuff, except kind of like that. But that's still pretty sad. This is the only kind of interesting person who dropped like a overflow, what looks like an overflow safe tune from their hand. And that probably makes it actually conceivably fast enough that I should take one Shanten. Yeah, I guess I should probably drop the 7 here. Are they actually in one Shanten, or like one Shanten or Tenpai? Let's see. They are. Oh no, they had extra safe tiles. I guess that's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's still 2 Shanten. That's tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I can see some arguments for either. But maybe being down as I am, I should probably take the greed right now, because even if I do miss it, I'm still going to be within probably Mongon. Unless Kamicho wins a big hand, I'm still probably going to be within the same requirements, even if I do win a smaller hand next turn. Or if I win a smaller hand this turn, I'm probably going to still be within the same requirements. So I should probably go for the bigger hand here. Painful. Alright, and that's the last question I have for this game, so I guess I'll play another game. So, see you after a 5-minute delay. And thanks for watching.